Hey guys, how you doing? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and we are having a very, very nice green day on the broader markets, despite what the cannabis stocks are doing, which I'm going to continue to tell you guys, this is huge manipulation happening in the cannabis sector. And when you see the entire broader markets are climbing and in the green, and the cannabis sector continues to go red, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you other than that. That's complete manipulation. Now look at this. The Dow Jones once again around all-time highs, up 296 points as we speak. S&P 500 up 26 points. The Nasdaq is up 84 points. The global Dow is up 17.45 points. Gold is down slightly, 1.9 points, and oil is now slightly red. But the big news is the Dow is rising nearly 300 points in the wake of upbeat earnings news from Target and Lowe's. And you can see here that Target up 19.6% and Lowe's up 9.8% respectively. Now let's take a look at Target. TGT is the symbol for Target, and they are having a monstrous day today. As you can see, up to now $101, up $16 today alone, up 19.1%. So Target having a monstrous day. Now let's take a look at Lowe's. Lowe's on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's see what Lowe's looks like. Lowe's is at $107, up 9.7%. And they're calling for a recession. You know, it's kind of hilarious. They're calling for a recession, yet Lowe's keeps growing, which means people are spending. So clearly, Lowe's for home renovations, home products, is one of the biggest and the best with Home Depot. And with them growing the way they are and their revenue growth and the fact that the price is going up, to me is not signaling a recession whatsoever. Same thing with Target. If people were not making as much money, would they be going to Target? Would they be spending the type of money that they're spending on Target? Would Target be showing these types of revenues? No. So the reality is I don't buy that we're going into recession at all. I don't buy it at all. Now let's try to see if we can get into this article here. How you doing, Mr. Lou? Saying Afria is rising as well after Kramer mentioned Cron and Afria as favorites over CGC. And that's big. That's big. How you doing, Drew? Hope you're having a good day. Let's see if we can break this down. So it says right here, I mean, essentially stating what I just said, retailers' quarterly results offer more evidence of consumer strength. Stocks traded sharply higher Wednesday morning after upbeat quarterly results from some of the nation's biggest retailers, Target and Lowe's. Investors were also awaiting the release of minutes from the Federal Reserve's July 30th, 31st policy gathering, which could offer insights on the central bank's decision last month to cut interest rates for the first time in more than a decade and provide clues on its future path. Now, as you can see, which I told you guys, everything is up today. Everything is green today, except for the cannabis stocks, which is why I keep telling you guys the cannabis stocks are highly manipulated. What's driving the market? Results from retailers and investor sentiment Wednesday after Target Corp's shares are up 19.5%, set a record high following the discount retailers' report of fiscal second quarter earnings and sales that beat expectations. Similarly, home improvement retailer Lowe's, up almost 10%, said its second quarter net income rose to $1.68 billion or $2.14 a share from $1.52 billion or $1.86 a share, with sales up 0.5% to $20.99 billion. That's right. Sales of almost $21 billion. If you want a stock to trade at $100, it should be making $21 billion. There ain't no cannabis stocks even making $1 billion. So when you see some of these cannabis stocks trading at over $100 and you wonder why I don't buy them, is because it makes no sense. This entire sector is highly manipulated. Okay? Just want to read some of your guys' messages. Kathy Martin says, it's time to buy green growth brands. Yeah, I think it's time to buy everything. Anthony Ray says, good morning, Rich. Good morning, Anthony. Drew D says, green growth has some potential. I agree. Yvonne says, hi, Rich. I listen to you from North Carolina. Hey, what's up in North Carolina? And Kathy Martin says, green growth brands has an RSI of 19. It's at a 52-week low now and has a 5-star rating, 1-year price target of $6 to $10. That is huge upside from here. So the results from the likes of Target and Lowe's and Home Depot, which is also up today on Tuesday, helped to quell, at least temporarily, worries that the domestic economy, buffeted by the China-U.S. trade policy clash, may soon see a recession. I'm going to say it again. There will not be a recession. There will not be a recession. What clues are there that there's going to be a recession? At least here in Canada, there are no clues whatsoever that there will be a recession. The housing market is strong. Jobs and job growth is strong. And there are opportunities everywhere in the cannabis sector, jobs in the cannabis sector. I just don't see the recession coming. I think it's strictly being discussed to create fear and panic, which is kind of why everything is driven by fear and panic, right? This is kind of what happens, right? So at the end of the day, if there was a recession coming, I don't think Target and Lowe's would be reporting enormous financials. So I'm going to go on the other side of the fence where everybody right now is trying to talk about a recession to get views. I couldn't care less about that. I want to be right. I don't believe there's a recession coming. My idea of a recession is people lining up for food. That's my idea of a recession. I don't see that. I don't see that in Canada. I don't believe we see that all over the United States. I still believe the housing market is strong. The stock market is strong. There's opportunities and jobs, which leads me to believe there will not be a recession. So I don't buy it. I think it's all for public consumption. It's all just part of this big game that the elite play, and we're just a part of this big game, just trying to make a little sliver through all of it. But the reality is, if Target and Lowe's continue to grow at this pace, I don't see how anyone can say that we're in a recession. Home Depot's numbers have been strong. Lowe's numbers have been strong. Target's numbers have been strong. So in my opinion, there will be no recession. And once again, if you look at the Dow Jones, you can see we're like around all-time highs again. So clearly the markets are quite strong, and I don't see any reason to think that that would change. Yeah, there's always this talk of, let's look at the 3-year. Look at this. We are around an all-time high, folks, again. We're very close to an all-time high again. Every time we get close to that all-time high, I guess the all-time high is 27,300. We're about 1,000 points away. Every time we get close to that all-time high, it comes back down. But the reality is, I don't see a recession coming anytime soon. I mean, you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average over the last 3 years. And yeah, there's been a few dips along the way, but I don't see a recession. Let's take a look at some of your guys' picks and some of your guys' messages. Big Zini says, Richie boy, check out Well. Been telling you. Let's take a look at Well. Yeah, I know you have been telling me. For some reason, it doesn't show up here. Why? Well Health Technologies Corp. $1.77, up 7.93%. We look at their 1-year chart. Yeah, they've been... Big Zini, you're not kidding about Well, eh? They've been a big winner, man. Thank you for this pick. You're right. You called it, man. Ryan Hannon says, looks like Afria is starting to take the lead. Let's take a look at Afria. If you guys have any picks you want me to look at, just let me know and I'll take a look at those picks. And I've been telling everybody that Afria is my next pick that I want to pick up. So they're at $8.61. And obviously they're profitable. And let's take a look at what some of the analysts think of Afria. Brady says ACB and Afria have seemed to be pretty correlated with their moves, but this time ACB is behind on the move. Yeah, I think ACB will make a move, but ACB's always been behind Afria because they just have way more shares. So you have to really understand ACB isn't really behind Afria. They have a much larger market cap than Afria right now. Afria has way less shares, so you'd have to expect that Afria is going to trade at a higher price. You could see the analysts are giving them a moderate buy right now, but it is approaching a strong buy. Ivan says, Rich, this is a Democrat that create bordel in the U.S. to take power back. They are creasy. Big Zini says, recession is looming 100% in my opinion. Not worried though. Hundreds of charts to trade. Can always short the S&P and play gold stocks crypto. Yeah, you know, a lot of people talking about a recession, but I don't see it. I know a lot of people want to talk about it, but I don't see a recession. There definitely ain't going to be no recession in Canada. The last time there was a recession in America, there was no recession in Canada. And if there is another recession in America, I don't see it in Canada. And if it is, it's going to be very short-lived. It's going to be like a blip in the radar, and everything's going to go back, just like last time. Drew D says, you got 10K. What company you jumping in, Rich? Probably Afria right now or Aurora Cannabis. Can't really go wrong with either of these giants. Love these guys in the cannabis sector. Huge potential, huge upside, long-term players. I think if you're willing to wait and you're patient, I think long-term, Afria and Aurora have enormous, enormous upside. Even short-term, I believe they have a lot of upside. So I'm going to consistently say I don't see a recession coming. I know everybody's going to disagree with me. Everybody wants to talk about a recession, but I don't see it coming. I don't see it happening. I think the markets are strong. I think the markets are proving that. They're very resilient. You can see that the Dow Jones is up 279 points right now. S&P 500 up 25 points. NASDAQ up 81 points. And the global Dow up 16 points. If the markets were showing weakness, I think that you would see companies like Target and you would see companies like Lowe's showing losses. However, here it is. U.S. created 500,000 fewer jobs since 2018 than previously reported, new figures show. So it's like a battle, right? It's like there's some results showing weakness. Obviously, this is not showing job growth. This can scare investors. This can create what people say a recession. However, then there's other companies and other factors like Target beating earnings, Lowe's beating earnings estimates that are showing other sides of the story. So at the end of the day, we're in an economy that's up and down, okay? There's going to be some good things happening in the economy. There's going to be some bad things happening in the economy. I don't believe that there's this weakness that everybody wants to talk about. But at the end of the day, I'm just one person. I might be wrong. We are in a cycle, obviously. Last time there was a recession, it was in 2007. We're in 2019. It's been 12 years. So you have to anticipate that something's going to happen, right? Let's see what Trump says. Trump says White House considering tax cuts as he rejects recession worries. It's funny. I am also saying the same thing as President Trump. He rejects a recession, and I am rejecting a recession. What do you guys think? President Trump on Tuesday said his administration was mulling tax cuts to stimulate the economy, even though he rejected suggestions that the U.S. is heading for a recession. Always looking at cuts, Trump told reporters the White House is always looking at tax cuts, including for capital gains and payroll taxes. His comment about a potential payroll tax cut came after a Washington Post report late Monday that White House officials had begun discussing whether to push for one as a way to halt an economic slowdown. The White House released a statement disputing the idea was actively under consideration, but appearing with the Romanian president on Tuesday, Trump said the idea was on the table. I've been thinking about payroll taxes for a long time, Trump said. Many people would like to see that, he added. He didn't put a time frame on the proposal. The president said his administration is also looking at reducing capital gains taxes by indexing them to inflation. That move would disproportionately benefit wealthy Americans, as the Wall Street Journal writes. Recession odds and Fed attack. As Democrats have said, Trump's economic policies have heightened odds of a recession. The president said such a downturn is very far away, but he again called on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates anyway, saying if the central bank would do its job, you'd see a surge of growth like you've never seen before. So why not just do your job, guys? I want to see that surge of growth. The Dow Jones fell 173 points Tuesday as investors worried about the strength of the economy and political developments in Europe and weighed on government bonds. Yeah, so at the end of the day, everyone's got their opinion on this. I believe that we are not going to see a recession as long as Trump is in power. This is my opinion. Now, if for whatever reason Trump no longer is in power or someone else gets elected next year, then yeah, there's a very good chance we could see a very bad global and American recession. Do I think we're going to see a recession in Canada? No, I don't. I don't feel like Canada will be affected by any of this. Now, if there is a recession in America, Canada will be slightly affected, obviously. If America gets a cold, Canada will also get a cold. But I don't believe it will be a dramatic recession in Canada. I think it'll be short-lived. Maybe the housing market goes down for a bit. But I don't honestly see a recession here in Canada at all. I don't see food trucks. I don't see lineups for food. I don't see people starving and sleeping on the streets all over the place. I really see no difference now than 10 years ago. And I don't feel like this talk of recession is anything more than posturing to create fear and panic. That's my opinion. Can you look at bills and MTLO, says Fabian. All right, take a look at bills. Ignite International Brands. They had a nice run for the last little while. And what are they doing? Yep, they're consolidating, which I thought they would do. Been on a crazy run. If you take a look at the last 3 months, you'll see this crazy run from under $1, from 66 cents all the way to, I think it hit even an intraday high of $3, but I guess it finished at 264, and now we're back down to 194. And if we take a look at MTLO, let's take a look at Martello Technologies Group. Yvonne says, Rich, I am Canadian. I've been working in the U.S. for 30 years. Trump will decrease American tax, and boom, the market will go up. I agree. Martello up 5% today. They have been a roller coaster ride, up and down over the last 3 months. You can see huge move up to, I believe it was intraday as high as $1, and finished around, just under 80 cents, and came all the way down to the new bottom, which is 32 cents, and is now around 40 cents. And considering they've got Bruce Linton involved, I think the company has enormous potential. Big Zini says, if you look at bank stocks, you'll see institutional investors are pulling out. S&P is manipulated higher. There are lots of clues of market downturn. Gold and silver rallying is another sign. Canada will be 100% effective, just like in 2008. Just have to be smart. Put your money in the right spots. I was here in 2008, and I didn't see a recession. I didn't see any sign of a recession in 2008 here in Canada whatsoever. They talked about it a lot, but I didn't see it. I know I wasn't really affected. Yeah, the housing market slowed for a bit, but then everything just took off, and now everything's doubled. 10 years later, everything's doubled. So, yeah, like I said, I did not see really a real recession. They talked about it, but I didn't really see much of one. Frank says, correct. Trump will keep that from happening. Thanks for info. I'll buy lots of Spotify and Lightspeed if that happens. Great Canadian stocks. Brady says, Rich, what's your opinion on sundial growers? Oh, sundial growers. My goodness. Sundial growers. I don't really have a very good opinion on them right now based on what they did to Cannabis, giving them $2.5 million worth of cannabis with mold and pieces of rubber gloves and other materials in them. I mean, just disturbed by the whole thing. But let's take a look at Sundial. Yeah, so you can see Sundial's been going down ever since the news came out that they distributed cannabis with mold and rubber gloves and other products to Cannabis, and the stock has been falling, and I think it probably goes lower. But long term they might be a winner, but short term I wouldn't touch them personally. iBoss says, sorry bud, SPY not gonna break 295. Let's take a look at the SPY. The SPY right now is at 2,926. So you don't think it's going back up? I mean, we're not that far from it right now. But you never know. We'll see. Yvonne says, people stop talking about a recession. It is not near for 2 years. And like I said, I don't see it happening with Trump in power. iBoss says, but I do got December 320 calls. But so if you've got December 320 calls, how can you say the SPY is not going to break 295? I'm confused. Frank says, you guys should look at next green wave. They're about to take off. Several big name brands just hit market. I like next green wave. I think they're dirt cheap, and I think they have enormous potential. And they're dirt cheap. And I have a feeling here it is. I have a feeling that National Inflation Association is going to run something on these guys soon. So yeah, they're 24 cents, up 4% today. Next Green Wave Holdings, also working in the Vegas market. I think this company has a lot of potential, but the volume is dead. So just be careful with that. Yvonne says, Democrats in the U.S. are making people panic, and it is working. Stop. I agree. I mean, it's just for public consumption. Drew D says, I am positioned in ACB, Rivers, Ianthus, Xena, OGI, Suniva, Kushco, and Cura. Got 10K I've been holding on to. Probably going to throw it in ACB, Xena, or get more Rivers. I like your picks, Drew. Fabian says, I think MTLO going to make a run here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Robert says, CanTrust went down on its support. Any thoughts? Let's see, CanTrust. I mean, I haven't even looked at them for so long. I wouldn't touch them right now personally, but I mean, everyone's willing to do whatever they got to do. Jerry C says, with 2 rate cuts coming in, the S&P will finish the year over 3,000. Yep, I wouldn't be surprised. CanTrust down to $2.47. And they just keep getting bad news that they've got just all these illegal facilities and just bad news after bad news after bad news. You can see they're literally at a 52-week low. But you've got to have some serious kahunas and some serious guts to buy them at these levels, in my opinion. Fabian says, I believe Fire Supreme Pharmaceuticals, Supreme Cannabis, is super undervalued in my opinion. What do you think, Rich? I agree with you. They have a great future, great company, great brands, strong management. I love their relationship with Wiz Khalifa. I like them. Supreme Cannabis. I like them a lot. Supreme Cannabis at $1.64, down 2.96%. And if you look at their 3-year chart, you can see it's been a roller coaster ride. And this is one where you got to buy the dips, because it seems as though every time it gets around $1.18, $1.15, $1.30, $1.15, $1.30 seems to be the bottom. Then it makes a run to like $2. Then it comes back down. Then it makes a run back. Then it comes down. Then it makes another run back to $2 again. So it seems as though every time it gets to $2, $2.20, it seems to get resistance. I like the company. I think they have huge upside. What do you think of ATVI? ATVI. It's not one I'm really familiar with. Let's take a look at it. ATVI. Activision Blizzard. $49. Maybe a little bit out of my price range. Kind of like to buy stocks between, $10 and less. But right now, analysts are giving it a strong buy. So that's good. I need to learn more about the company to give you a real synopsis of what I think long term. If we look at the chart. I mean, that's the beauty of doing this, Big Zini, is everyone has their own opinion, right? You believe a recession's coming, and you saw the recession in 2008. I didn't see the recession in 2008. I didn't feel it at all in any way, shape, or form, other than I had a few properties that went down, but I wasn't planning on selling anyways. So at that time, I just rented those properties, and now they've all doubled. So like I said, I mean, it's all how you handle it. Everybody sees it differently. It depends on the industry you're in. But yeah, I didn't see much of a recession in Canada. Frank says, smart to also hold some cash to the side. If the market crashes, you could buy on the cheap. Exactly. Drew D says, are you jumping in on any companies before the resurrection, or are you just waiting? I currently am holding Suniva, Xena, Aurora, Hexo, and Rivers. Those are my top 5, amongst other stocks. But those are my top 5 right now. Yeah, Activision's chart looks pretty interesting. It was at $80 in September 2018 and currently at $50. So maybe they go and make another run like that. Big Zini says, Frank, it's smart to keep some actual cash at home too. In case the lights go out, cash is king. It's true. iBoss says, Call of Duty gonna be a hit. Yeah, exactly. Big Zini says, we're so dependent on the work grid. Remember the blackout of 2004 woke me up big time. Chris says, I've had a few Supreme vape carts. They were just okay, nothing special, but the name could carry it. Ryan is saying APHA is up 6% in a sea of red. Oh, it's nice to see that Afria is doing well today. And they should be. They're undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed. They've got a good share structure. There's no reason for them to be trading under $9. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. They will not trade under $9 for long, in my opinion. In my opinion, Afria is going to go much higher. And I believe in the future we see them test that $20 range like we've seen in the past. Shauna says, what do you think of Green Growth Brands? I think Green Growth Brands has a lot of potential. I like them. I was the first to ever talk about them. They made a huge run. They've recently consolidated like everybody else in the entire sector, which I believe is creating an incredible buying opportunity at $1.76. I think this is hugely undervalued, underappreciated, and underexposed based on where they've been in the past. However, this is all based on revenue, and the reality is the company's done well with little to no revenue. They need revenue. Entourage Vid says, Morning Rich TV Live, could you check out Meta? Sure. Let's take a look at Meta. I'm a big fan of Meta, everybody knows. I believe they're one of the most undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed cannabis stocks in the entire sector, generating lots of revenue, top 10 revenue generator in Canada, but trading under $1. literally believe this is the most undervalued stock in the entire sector. Meta, currently at 47.5 cents. iBoss416 is saying it is looking like a recession around the corner and it will be slow and painful. Not a crash, but we should be good for a year or so. Big Zini says there have been blackouts all over the world lately. When the power goes out, where is your money? Gotta have some silver, gold, and cash. Very good points, Big Zini. Frank says, how do you feel about Green Growth Brands as a CBD play? I love them as a CBD play. And Frank, I'm going to add you as a moderator. Thank you for being here, Frank. Big Zini has been talking about Well, and it has been climbing. Great call, Big Zini, on Well. Says, take a look at Well Guys conference called Tomorrow. Financials are nice. It's a good one, in my opinion, up 8.54%. Wow. iBoss416 says, hey, Rich, what do you think about companies like Safe and BLO? I like them both. I think they have huge upside, and I think they have a lot of potential. Let's take a look at Safe. It's probably not this Safe. Giorgio is saying, Rich, get Zoomaway on your show. You know, I'm working on it. Probably Friday, actually. And Zena. Yeah, I'm working on getting Zena on my show too. Zoomaway currently down 5% today at 9 cents. Been having crazy run lately. We brought this to you guys at 2.5 cents. Obviously, they've exploded, went as high as 13. Intraday finished at 11.5. Made a nice little consolidation back to 7. Jumped back up to 9.5. Another consolidation back to 7. Jumped back up to 11. So in my opinion right now, if it goes back to 7, we're now at 9. If it goes back to 7, that might be the chance to load up. Jerry C is asking, Rich, why is TrueLeaf down after strong earnings? You know, I've heard some people say that they're going down based on insider selling. And there's people talking about the fact that there are some shares that are locked up that are going to be released in January. It's creating a little bit of fear and panic. And I think it's probably just insider selling shares and creating an incredible buying opportunity for us, to be quite frank. I really like this company. And if you take a look at their one-year chart, you can see that they've been over $20. I believe they go back to those levels. The low was $9.26. We're currently at $10.91. We're not far from the low. You can see it's been literally dropping for the last 5 months, like everything else. And soon we will hit a resurrection. And I would not be surprised to see TrueLeaf, a profitable company, one of the best in America. I would not be surprised to see them back at $20, which is almost 100% upside from here. Yeah, it's nice to see Afria making a small run. Frank says, if you want a great company who doesn't touch cannabis and is profitable, Grow Generation Corp. Yes, I'm glad that you're talking about Grow Generation Corp. They have been on fire. And I did a video about them when they were at like $2. And they're almost at $5. Absolutely incredible. I did a few videos about them when they're around $2, even under $2. They're now at $4.67. They're actually one of the few trend busters in the entire sector. As you can see, when everything was down, Grow Generation Corp has been going up. They've been one of the only stocks that's been climbing over the last 3 months while everything else was going down. Sheldon Snow says, Bruce Linton said last night that he bought a bunch of CGC stock and is looking to join USA Extractor Company. I hope with Halo, that would be huge. I agree. Big Zini says, please don't think I'm hating, by the way, Rich. I just try to be prepared. When next recession hits, we can find safety in gold, bear ETFs, crypto, etc. No, hey, listen, nothing wrong with giving your opinion. That's the beauty of having a community. I want to know your opinions and I want to know what you guys think so that we can come up to a good decision, a consensus as a community. Nothing wrong with you guys disagreeing with me. You're allowed to disagree with me, and you're allowed to have your opinion. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Drew D says, Meta looking like money. iBoss says they had shares that expire. Exactly. That's why Trulieve is going down. That's why a lot of these stocks are going down. Insiders are selling. Big Zini says Meta has lots of upside potential. Yes. iBoss says, and Trulieve has Lisa SU of cannabis industry. John Snag says the Score, the sports app, is booming. Yes. You know, it's funny. I talked to everyone in my community about this at 30 cents. And I've always been a fan of the Score. I watch the show every day almost. Love the sports and the highlights. I'd love one day to even be a broadcaster on the Score. Wow, 68 cents. Look at this now. I brought it at 30 cents. Since I brought it, it has doubled. I brought this to my community at 30 cents. Like literally, I was like, what do you guys think of the Score? I always liked them. I brought it to them when it was like around 30 cents. Lower than this levels. And, no one really said much about it. Now they're at 68 cents. And I think they go higher. And the reason why they're going up so much secretly is because they just got approved for sports betting. So the Score has been up over 100% since I did their first video. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them go even higher. The ticker is SCR in Canada. I don't know if they have a US symbol. Let's take a look at their news. And guys, this is richtvlive.com where I'm looking at everything here. You could see they just reached a 52-week high. And the news has been circulating. I don't believe they have a US symbol. If they do, I'm not familiar with it. Frank says, you sure did, Rich, and I'm so upset I didn't buy Grow at 2. The guy who built Home Depot is helping run Grow. Now, Bob Nardelli, I believe, is his name. Sheldon Snow says, thought Florida was thinking about changing regulations. Is that why Trulieve is down? It's possible. I'd have to look into it more. Lucky Lefty says, how come MJ&A made $20 million last quarter in revenue and nobody's talking about them? Because they've got too many shares issued outstanding. And when you're a penny stock that's got too many shares issued outstanding, you're not going to go anywhere because you're just going to have a bunch of people selling stock. Because that's all they care about is selling stock. Let's take a look. 4 cents. MJ&A is now at 4 cents. If we go to share info, I'm going to show you right here why they're going down. Too many insiders selling, guys. Too many insiders selling. Let's take a look at the shares. Good revenue. But the share structure? Look at that. There's the answer. 1.79 billion total shares. What a joke. Like 1.79 billion shares? Really? You're clearly just a share printing business. Like what a joke. Come on, guys. Do something about your share structure. That share structure is just disgusting. iBoss416 says, wow, that is huge news. Though the Score, they have been trying to do this since the beginning. Yes, and that's why I think the Score has enormous potential, and I will not be surprised to see the Score go to $1. Rudy asked, are you planning on getting into Meta, Rich? I am. I just don't know when. I'd like to see some positive signs of something first, because the stock is totally dead. Sheldon Snow says, smash the like button for our boy Rich. Brought us all together to make money. Thank you, Sheldon. So let's take a look at, once again, let's just take a look at Target. Target Corporation making the big news today. And they are up, wow, 19%. Target, look at that huge jump today. And let's just quickly look at their news. Here it is. All right, you guys want to know why Target is flying? Here it is. Shares of Target are up roughly 15% during the pre-market trading hours following an impressive second quarter performance and upbeat outlook of fiscal 2019. Robust traffic, favorable store comps, and a surge in comparable digital sales are clearly yielding results for this Minneapolis-based company. Both the top and the bottom line not only beat the respective Zacks consensus estimate, but also increased year over year. Notably, shares of this Zacks Rank number 2 buy have increased 18% and comfortably outpaced the industry growth of 15% in the last 6 months. Let's look a little deeper. The operator of general merchandise stores reported adjusted earnings of $1.82 per share. That surpassed the Zacks consensus estimate of $1.61 and improved 23.9% from the prior year period. This year-over-year growth can be attributed to higher sales and share repurchase activity. Love it. Absolutely love it. The company generated total revenue of $18,422 million. That increased. So is that what is that? 18 billion? Yeah, it's 18 billion. That increased 3.6% from the year ago period and surpassed Zacks' consensus estimate of 18,330 million. We note that sales jumped 3.6% to 18,183 million, while other revenues rose 6.3% to 239 million. So you can see the chart, and they've been absolutely on fire. Let's see some of you guys' messages. Frank says, what do you think about the company Square versus PayPal? I like them both. I think they both have a future. iBoss says, time to short Target. I don't know anyone who shops at Target, the new Zellers. I don't know about that. Clearly, there's a lot of people shopping at Target. Their revenue is growing. Shauna is saying, do you think Suniva will last? Absolutely, Suniva is going to last. They're going to be enormous. Drew D says, Suniva will go back up. No worries, just patience. I agree. I think everything's going down. iBoss says, man, SNN effed up. Bad, leaving shareholders with the bag. They did, but we've seen other companies screw up like Organogram and then go up 1,000%. And I believe Suniva will do the same. Drew D says, I'm hoping it goes to 4 USD at least, but could go higher. Yeah, I believe that long term it's going to go way higher. Frank says, Target is moving into a tech type store. Don't underestimate Target. Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate a company that is growing in revenue. Yeah, I would definitely not compare Target to Sears. John Snag says, I saw the CEO of MCLD on BNN yesterday. That was inspiring. Yeah, it was nice to see that. I didn't see it, but we've had MCLD on our show, and I'm sure that we'll have them again. So stay tuned to that. Just want to talk to you guys about the news that Target beat their earnings, Lowe's beat their earnings. Just like Mr. Trump, I do not see a recession coming anytime soon. As long as Mr. Trump is in power, we will not see a recession. That is my prediction, and that is my opinion. I might be wrong. Love to know your opinion, but it is positive to see Target up. Lowe's just hit up 10% now. Lowe's is now up 10% and has been climbing. They also beat their earnings estimates, and to me that is showing strength and signaling that people are still spending money on their properties, renovations, and real estate, and why I do not see a recession coming. In my opinion, I believe that we are still strong in Canada and the US, and I believe the economy will continue to move forward. Thank you guys for watching. This is Rich from Rich TV Live. If you're not winning, you're not watching. We bring you winners, and we bring them to you first. Lowe's having a monstrous day. Target having a monstrous day. Both of them signaling the fact, in my opinion, that we will not have a recession, that the American economy is still strong, and that people are still spending money. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. If you're not winning, you're not watching. We bring you winners, and we bring them to you first. And just to prove to you how much manipulation is in the cannabis sector, the broader markets are green. Okay? Everything is green except for gold. Oil is even. And then we go to the cannabis sector, and it's red. And it's been red for 5 months straight. So while the markets have been green and strong, the broader markets have been green and been strong. We have seen 5 straight months of red in the cannabis sector. Take a look. Look at that. So, in my opinion, we're finding the bottom. The resurrection is near. We can't keep going down like this forever. Manipulation is real, and this is all manipulation in my opinion. And in my opinion, we see a huge resurrection of epic proportions, and we see the cannabis sector back to these higher levels of 110, which is almost a double from these levels. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. If you like this video, smash the like button, comment down below, share the video everywhere, and remember, if I win and you win, we all win. It's true. It's your boy Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm out. Peace. Let's look at all this manipulation. FSD Pharma's up today. Oh, Aurora's green. Tilray's green. Tilray all of a sudden up 7%. Aphria up 6%. So we're seeing a little bit of green. That's positive. Chronos Group is green. Maybe finding a floor. But we also see a lot of red. And overall, we are definitely red. Thank you guys. Your boy's out. Peace. Manipulation is real. That's Canada. We red in the US? I anticipate yes. Blood, yep. We see red in the US. There it is. Look at all the red. Oh, EDXC is up 23%. That's nice. Take a look at some of the percentage gainers in the US. Let's look at some of the decliners. And let's look at Market Watch. All right, guys. I'm out. Peace.